Hey everybody, Dr. Dane here, and I want to talk about a very important number that when I go over this number with patients, very few patients understand this number because they're not being explained how important this ratio is by their doctors. We all know cholesterol and its impact on cardiovascular disease. Almost everybody knows their cholesterol number, but I want to introduce you to a number that everybody should know, and it's so easy to calculate this number. And the number is your triglyceride to HDL ratio. Now this is so much more important to whether you'll get a cardiovascular event like a heart attack or a stroke than just looking at your cholesterol, and I want to go over why that is. So the first thing is your triglycerides are circulating fat. In the body, sugar cannot be stored. It can only be stored into the amount of very small amounts. So we have about a teaspoon of sugar, glucose, that's circulating in our bloodstream. Everything else has to be converted to be stored. And what is sugar converted to? Well, a lot of people know it's converted to fat, but before it becomes fat, it's converted to triglycerides. So triglycerides are a kind of surrogate marker for how much sugar you have in your bloodstream, right? Now, what about your HDL cholesterol? Well, your HDL cholesterol we know as the good cholesterol because HDL cholesterol takes the bad cholesterol back to the liver where it can be metabolized, right? So by knowing these numbers, triglyceride to HDL ratio, we know how much sugar you have in your bloodstream and how much good cholesterol you have in your bloodstream, helping getting the bad cholesterol back to your liver, okay? So ideally, you're going to take your triglycerides and just divide it by your HDL cholesterol. Ideal ratio is 2 or less. The people that are 2 or less have a very cardioprotective number. So you have a ratio that's really protecting you from having heart attacks and strokes. A high number is anything over 4, where your triglycerides are higher, your HDLs are lower, and anything over 6, if the ratio is over 6, very, very dangerous to have a ratio over 6, okay? Now, Harvard did a study on this ratio, and what they found was that if your triglycerides were high, you had a 3 times greater risk of a heart attack just by having high triglycerides. Forget about the HDL cholesterol. The highest people who with the highest ratio had 16 times greater risk than the people that had the lowest ratio. So the people that had a ratio over 6 had a 16 times higher incidence of heart attacks compared with people that had an ideal ratio of less than 2. And then the interesting thing is this was the strongest predictor of people with heart attacks, much stronger than just looking at cholesterol alone. So the key point is that everybody knows their cholesterol number, but do you know your triglyceride to HDL ratio? It is a much stronger indicator of whether you will have a heart attack down the road. So this is Dr. Dane talking about a very important marker that we're going to cover at our program that we're doing on Monday with cardiologist Dr. Jack Wolfson. And Dr. Jack Wolfson is a natural cardiologist who practices in Arizona. He'll be doing a live simulcast at our office. He wrote a book called The Paleocardiologist. Everybody that attends is going to get an autographed copy of The Paleocardiologist. It starts at 7 p.m. at my office in Newtown Wellness Solution Centers. To register, you can actually go to our website. There's a calendar on the home page. If you click on the date, March 19th, it will pull up the event and you can register right there. By the way, we only have 30 seats available because the room we have it in only holds 30 people. So we only have 5 seats left for the event. So you better get on it. This is Dr. Dane. Hope to see you on Monday. Just so you know, for the people that can attend in the office, we'll be doing a Facebook Live of this event on March 19th at 7 p.m. So stay tuned for that.